That's Illegal and Trident. I'm not really sure what we're going to get from this matchup, to be honest. So I'm just, I guess, going to take it as it comes and see how we go. Try not to make too many predictions. But what I will say is I think whichever one of these two teams does actually make it into that final against Paradox is going to have another step up waiting for them when they do get there. So this will be, in a sense, a good warm-up game for that one where they are really going to have to knuckle down.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, in all honesty. I would say that it's the case of... Right now, I think it's a hard test for That's Illegal. It's a good way to see where exactly they're sitting at. Obviously, a team that's kind of been sitting together and grinding a little bit. Whereas with Trident, this is the next step in terms of making sure that you dispatch your opponents. You've got a pretty interesting roster. You've got a couple of Aussies on there, obviously. But you also have someone from... I think it was from Sweden.
Really?
Yeah, Chaos is from Sweden because his flag was like Swedish, and then there was another one which I'm just trying to remember, like off the top of my head, like exactly where it was, but I think it was like on the face at one, so it could have been like a troll sign up, whatever. Anyway, into the pistol round. So,
does that mean they're from Sweden, or does that mean that they're Swedish, like nationality or whatever? Like I could potentially have a German flag if I wanted. I'm obviously from Australia. Anyway, besides the point, looks like it doesn't matter. The shots are sharp, and that's really what we're here to see. Goose Pants will try to trade things back and does a good job of that, giving, well, one would assume the numbers advantage over, but looks like 1 HP Wonder is the name of the game. And it's a 1-on-3 now for Skycap, who has been flanked by Wex. It's 1-0 for Trident. Good start.
Yeah, you can see it's like these are those series where as like the teams that are coming in with how do I say it, with like relatively less qualifier chances, and obviously this is a big deal for like a team like this. You know, maybe you got lucky as either of these where you don't have to verse maybe Riot or something like that. Let's be real. I think Riot obviously is quite a strong opposition. You don't have to verse Riot. Excellent. You want to come into this. You want to take the most of this opportunity. We're already seeing it. Both teams starting to hit some sharp shots. The trades are coming out effectively quite well as well. But unfortunately, pistol round does go in the favor of Trident for That's Illegal after a stellar start. And this should just be a pretty quick farm-up round.
You say that Skycap did manage to chime in with one, but ISO can't really do too much at the end there. And as you say, very quick farm-up round, in fact, actually. Yeah. You blink and you miss it, that kind of a round. 2-0.
There you are. So yeah, that's right. Frovance from Indonesia. I did remember seeing, like, I was like about to say, it's like, I don't think he was Polish, so that makes it means it was Indonesia. But because I didn't remember exactly which flag it was, I didn't want to say it. So but there you go.
We got there in the end.
Got there eventually. And
first gun round for That's Illegal though, so this will be the round that we do want to keep a bit of an eye on to just get a better understanding of exactly what their level is going to look like. Are they going to be able to challenge Trident, or is the pistol round and that subsequent eco round a little bit more indicative of how the others are going to go? Already liking what I'm seeing there. That's a good pop flash coming through from Jelly Phoenix. ISO takes the peek off of it. And, I mean, immediately that just gives you the impression that That's Illegal has a reasonable understanding, at least, of what they can do on Vertigo.
Absolutely, that's fantastic. You can already see here, boy, it's like the dangerous angles. He's holding to make sure the CT doesn't peek out through there. So, like a flashbang comes in, and his next protocol is just to check that angle as well. It's good because, as you said, it means there's been a couple of reps that the fact that people know utility, it means that they know exactly what's going on. You can even see ISO as well. He's trying to isolate this angle. He knows exactly how cheeky this CT player can be. Wex, in the meantime, steps up pretty well with that MP9. Locks down 2 kills on the other side. Yeah,
so Quest also chiming in with 1, getting a sense maybe that the firepower might just be a little bit better for Trident at the moment.
Oh, there's this
mid flank. Not to say it'll maintain that way.
Mid lurk coming out though from Goose Pants. He's managed to get control of jump up. In the meantime as well, Skycap might be trying to make his way back, but it's a little bit too little too late. And that's kind of the problem. When you separate is so far away, there's no trade potential there. It would have been better that they just grouped up and decided to kind of like stagnate and wait for a response.
Ooh. It's a nice round, right, Sir Quest? He's actually picked up 3 individual aim duels, essentially just taking the fight straight to him. And he's been able to win all of them. Sort of pulls it back into Trident's favor, despite it looking like it might be a decent start for That's Illegal. So straight back onto the pistols for the T side.
Okay, so Koiti actually upgrades into the AWP as well. And this is fantastic for Trident. They had a couple of rounds they were able to farm up with MP9s. Now, out comes the true weapons. Look at that. Aggression coming out already from Trident. Already adaptation in terms of trying to contain the B main pressure, but it actually is going to be this A-side attack. All the pistols going to be grouping up and hitting there. Player at sandbags already, but Koiti needs to be careful and not be caught out.
Yeah, slow creep up here with the Deagles. Can definitely still do some work. Wex hiding behind the sandbags. As of yet, hasn't been checked, but Goose is doing a good job of clearing scaffolding. Now starts to work his way up. And take a peek into the A-bomb site, but Wex chooses his time nicely. Looks for the double, but immediately gets peaked by 3. That will result in a death for him. A little bit of a messy spray perhaps coming through there from SirQuest. But it won't be the end of his life, and he's still a ever-present threat on the flank.
All he needs to do is stay alive and anchor this down. Right now, just allow the rest of the riflers to kind of lock things down for Trident. You can see that's illegal. They don't really have any utility to get their way onto here, so some of the Deagles need to hit some fantastic shots. Koiti's got the AWP. He's posted up, obviously, at the boxes. Another one at CT jump up as well. That's going to be chaos. Very hard for the Ts. They need to just peek together, so this all comes down to timing at this stage.
ISO looking to try and clear the flank out as well, and he's even sort of on his way over towards the B bomb site.
Yeah, but the bomb's all the way over A, so I don't really like that. You need to group up and kind of like, you can't really try to make a flank work out.
He's definitely trying, and he has.
He's gotten a pick, but there's no time.
No, he's actually drawn the rotation from the T side. They're on their way back over to B as well. What on earth is going on here?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like, there's no time to even get on the site. They have to just try to die, like, before time. If they don't, you can't be facing. This is a terrible thing that's happened because their economy is going to be absolutely demolished in essence because, well, 2 players can't really buy right now. Jelly Phoenix has to stick with the Deagle. So you're going to have, like, 2 people with Deagles, bit of utility, 3 people with AKs. And that's just down to not understanding where the time is going. Sure, he's gotten a kill on SirQuest and he has that sight, but I'm looking at the timer and going, the bomb's nowhere near there. Nevertheless, into another gun round for that's illegal. Half buy for most of their members, though.
A slow around this time from that's illegal. As you say, a half buy, so AK is hopefully going to get put to good use. Hasn't really worked out that way for Evan. SirQuest locking down the B stairs. A little bit of a trade back over on the A ramp side of things, but not enough to equalize the numbers. Skycap's also having a bit of a peek around in mid to see if he can find anything there, but as of yet, no pushes from the CT side that's going to present a kill for him.
A bit of a miss smoke from Chaos. He's not too happy about that one. It just means that it's a bit more of a threat. That's a beautiful grenade coming out, actually, as well from Forvent. 1-for-1 trade, but this is not ideal because the information has been given away. 40 seconds. You already see the AWPs transitioning across. Koiti misses a bit of a sitter there.
Happens. SirQuest is in the perfect spot to shut this down, though, when the push does inevitably come through. He's got Prevent there as well to help him out. And try and go up to 5 and 0. It's been looking relatively uncontested so far. They're feeling comfortable in the CT side.
That's a memory for Forvent for sure. Locks on to the site pretty well.
Looks like we do have a DC here as well. Jelly Phoenix having disconnected. So I guess we might have a bit of a wait. Hopefully it doesn't last too long. I'll keep you updated, Kev, as to what I see in the
no worries
in-game chat. But so far nothing, so I suppose we'll just wait and see.
Yeah, probably just your stereotypical, you know, it's not an Asian tournament unless you have a tech issue somewhere down the line. It's the first time it's happened, but 5-0 for Trident so far. Fantastic start for them. Really, though, haven't been tested too hard. That's illegal. Have really only had 1 decent gun round. They got shut out of it pretty convincingly towards the end. SirQuest is able to take a couple of individual deals. They have kind of cooked their money a little bit because now it's kind of... It's starting to get to the territory, though, where, okay, everyone's back on the same page. You have a half buy over here. You can try going for something quick. Try to do some damage to the CT side economy. Try to sort out of the waters yet. These rounds actually have been quite... cost inefficient for the CT side. That's the correct way to say it. They don't have a huge bank stacked up. They don't have a loss bonus either. As a matter of fact, no loss bonus to work with. So
word in from the server, essentially what's happening here is Jelly Phoenix is changing from his normal internet connection to mobile data, is what I can assume is happening. It seems like he's come back, so just having some connection issues by the sounds of things. And now everyone's kind of having an argument about who the best ISP is. Not an argument, I suppose, more so a discussion.
there's no good ISPs. You can firmly convince me there's no good ISPs. It's you can have a good experience with one, you can have a bad experience with one. At the end of the day, it's luck of the draw.
You just got to take what you can get.
That's it. And if it works, it works. So
yeah,
there's a lot of people who have complaints about, other telecoms which I've had no issues with. So it's always very situational. Anyway, he's back. So less about the connection, more about the play over here at B. They're sending it, Jordan.
Well, we'll see if they do send it effectively or not. There is just the 1 or 2 defenders for Event doing most of the work right now, but he does have Chaos there to help out should push it come to shove. Though, Chaos was mollied out of position. It doesn't really matter for Event. It does lock down 3, makes life easy for the remaining 6 teams who are now starting to rotate across to the mid as well. Flash is coming through, popping in the face of Skycap. There's not really a whole lot that he can do. He's just locked in the corner, waiting for an eventual death.
And he's just hoping he can punish. This is what I mean, is that for Trident, all right, this is a part where you can't really be losing guns hunting. Like, this is a prime example. Really risky to be challenging that as an individual. You'd rather be swinging together. He doesn't go down, which is fine, but it's like the small things where I'm looking at and I'm going, ooh, you're looking at that and you go, imagine you're versing someone. You wouldn't peek like that on Dexter, for example.
No.
I'm not saying you're versing Dexter on this map, but there's like the high percentage players and low percentage players. That's just an individual challenge, which sure, it works in their favor, but you don't want to lose that weapon. Nevertheless, the worst doesn't happen. And finally, a proper gun round from That's Illegal.
Never mind. Or a face at service. All right, look, 6-0. You talk about the worst happening, perhaps, or not happening. I think it's important to talk about the best happening right now for Trident.
Yeah.
They are getting through this round pretty comfortably. Yeah, they're winning in there. I mean, their money hasn't really built up still, but you don't get the sense right now that they're going to be losing a round anytime soon. Maybe this time, though, with that early pick. Oiti good enough, though, to trade it back down, so the nervous tension seems to just sort of slip away there.
Yeah, they still have this like really deep control right now of A ramp, so it's, I mean, they're still decent control, and it's really interesting to see like Trident's approach as well. Oftentimes you see teams initially fight for A ramp, and they just completely give it up afterwards for the CT side. The Ts obviously expend a lot of utility, but you can see that's illegal. They don't really use that much utility. They never truly get A ramp control as a result, so it does still allow the anchor to kind of sit here over as Trident. He's aware of the danger. B site has been tested a couple of times, but Forvin has been pretty good at answering that challenge. He does seem to have a pretty good understanding when he needs to drop utility, when he needs to kind of like sit in this position, but he's going to be mollied out, and he doesn't have a smoke.
Does have some backup, but yeah, definitely being pressured right now. Needs some help, needs some assistance, doesn't quite get it. Chaos goes down.
Whoa, hang on.
Where's he gone?
He's gone through the smoke, but surely they should be aware of this. There was a player over there. Bomb plant, does actually go down. I thought it was about to be denied. Now the question is, where is Sky Captain Station? He's doing this in one-on-one. He's actually going to be assisted by Jelly Phoenix, who almost goes huge. It's all down to Sky Cap. 1 on 2.
Yeah, it is indeed. He's going to have some work to do right now, being covered off on the left side by the AWP, and he strafes right into it. So Trident, that round got close. I don't know how Forvin actually manages to survive for so long there. But in the end, feels like the round-winning play for Trident.
Not exactly sure what's happened there, but that's illegal. You see a player that's pretty close. You have an idea about where he is. I think that was Skycap that was trying to pick him off, but can't let those little things slip away. You have to have that presence of mind going, hang on a moment, the CT kind of exited, so there's only going to be one position he's going to be, and it's going to be on the flank now. You're going to be watching that area very carefully. Still going to be a buyback into the AK. It's not the fullest set of utility for that. Going to be testing out the A site this time. And that's a fantastic entry. Going to explode on the back of that.
Seen a couple of 4v5s that have been brought back by Trident, so I'm not prepared to call this one done just yet. for that's illegal. Interesting position for Sir Quest, hiding inside of the scope. We'll see if it fades favorably or if that's illegal. Just run past him, which it looks like they will. Oh, he's totally whiffed his spray though, and he's been punished for it. Does get taken down. The rest of the defenders are trying their best, doing what they can. But bomb plant now on the floor, and the rotation coming through from behind for Jelly Phoenix seems to be a little too much, or maybe I've spoken too soon. Forbin does come from behind himself. So there's flanks upon flanks. It's going nuts at the moment. Jelly Phoenix is going to try and deny the defuse, but can't. And Wex gets the kill anyway. So Trident, they sneak away with another round.
Yeah, fantastic stuff from Forvent, who definitely stepped up in that round, who, on the flank, yeah, denies not only the ability for a lot of the T's to transition out, but has the presence of mind as well. Just, he hears a scaffolding player, just instantly swings around and pretty much wins that deal as well. That's some of the individuals stepping up. That's what you expect when you kind of get to this level. But it's pretty harsh because that's illegal. Definitely doing the good work. You can see the utility sets actually pretty solid in terms of how they're taking the A site and how they're taking the B site as well. They're not rushing in. They're using flashbangs. They're utilizing utility to make sure they're increasing their chances of success. The problem is, though, just unable to really win some of these aim deals at the moment. It's costing them.
Slow creep at the moment from the T side up the B stairs. Sir Quest going to be assisted by a Molotov. Just manages to push that illegal back for now, and the util starting to come through from the CT side, as you can also see some rotations starting to float across into mid. Looks like that's illegal will slow down the pressure though. And Molly's not going to force anyone out of position. So Quest has already moved up. He's actually crept up behind the half wall.
This is really good for that's illegal at the moment. You look at the utility difference, right? There's not much for the CT, there's not much left for the CT to work with. And Jelly Phoenix just finds the right angle as well. This isn't going to create so much threat. Wex though, Scar 20, he's going to be happy holding that. And that's going to keep Koiti over here, but he needs to back away. He's by himself at the moment, needs to play for the retake. He's going to hear this utility, has to drop away. He can't drop anything defensive.
Looks like he's just going to take a little peek here, try to be a little sneaky, goes with the scope to keep it safe. Wow. From any other angle, and he does manage to at least slow things down enough for the rotation to come on in. Skycap, despite the AWP shots, looking pretty good there from Koiti. They don't actually connect through the box. Now the retake is on in earnest, and Trident are making it happen. Down to just Skycap, who's been spotted. Chaos. Great work by him and Wex, both getting a double kill this round, and there'll be another one up for Trident.
Feeling so bad right now for that's illegal. It's like you can see that they're kind of like building on their processes. They know that the flank comes out pretty quickly, almost punishes Forvent, but I think Skycap does 99 and 4 or something ridiculous. Like, and you look at it afterwards and you go, HP 1. You go, well, that's cool. I've just got CS:GO'd. That kind of opens up the entire can of worms because now they have to watch and dedicate more resources to the flank. That means, obviously, then Chaos comes out. And really good clearance as well. They clear out the rest of the ramp. They realize he can only be towards Scaffold. And obviously, Chaos is going to post up on there. One of the first timeouts going to be used by that's illegal. I'm assuming that this one's a bit of attack.
Looks like a tactical timeout, but it's 2 minutes long or a minute and a half long, so maybe not. I mean, if it is, it's a really long tactical timeout.
I think it's just maybe like the normal timer that you get in Face It, because you can just set whatever the pause timer is, so it might just be 2 minutes.
Well, I mean, that gives you plenty of time to chat, doesn't it?
Yeah, I feel like for that's illegal. They're definitely doing like the right stuff in terms of getting, like they're putting the right steps in. They're getting onto the site. They're actually playing the mid game pretty well. Like, once again, I'm not going to put them to the same standards as like as I would for Paradox and Dynasty. They're an open team, and I'm very impressed so far that they're doing the right passage of play. They're taking map control. You've got some individuals that are doing fantastic work on the lurk to make sure they're setting themselves up for success. And it's not as if Trident are playing the late game well as well, because as I was saying, that was a perfect round for that's illegal to take. No utility on the CT side. Lots of map control for that's illegal to work with. They had the right amount of utility to take the A site. The problem is, once again, it just boils down to some of these individual deals where they're not fighting correctly, they're not trading out, they're not in positions to punish any over aggression. Some of the individuals' aim just not there just yet for that's illegal.
Well, I suppose I don't know if this conversation is going to help them out in that respect, but maybe they've sort of rustled up something that they can do. Yeah, like I kind of agree with you. I don't think it's been a terrible game from That's Illegal, and it doesn't feel like a 9-0 score is necessarily representative of how close or one-sided this matchup has been. Now, granted, Trident have been the better team, but I'd be looking at something like maybe a 7-2 or a 6-3, and I feel like maybe that's a little bit more where we might expect to be sitting. We'll see what That's Illegal can get done. I mean, if they come out of this half without picking up any rounds, I feel like that's going to be doing themselves a disservice.
Absolutely. I would agree with you on that one. It's like the classic... Yeah, sure, the scoreline is very similar to some of the games that we saw earlier today, but the way that we've gotten here is very different. It's not a case of Trident is just stomping That's Illegal out of the server. It just comes down to some of these small things. So we'll have to see how this one goes once again. It is a bit of a split lurk that's coming out from That's Illegal. They're just anchoring 2 players over here at A ramp, having a few members drop utility over here at B.
See how this push goes. Jelly Phoenix ready to go through the smoke. A bunch of kill coming back in response though from Trident. Already a 2-for-1 trade. Player caught in the smoke though. Skycap does a good job of dislodging him, and now it's just down to Sir Quest, who really looked like he was in a rough spot, but has actually managed to get back behind Generator and is now fairly safe. Bomb plant goes down. He decides now's the time to push out. Ballsy from Sir Quest. I don't know how he gets away with that. And, well, Loose Pants, he won't have much of an opportunity stepping back up off of that bomb to survive. Trident go up to 10, get themselves double digits.
Yeah, just once again, multi-kill ability. Almost broken up. Skycap's doing really well right now on these entries. He's actually clearing out a lot of these important angles, but once again, just comes down to the crunch time. Just a couple of these duels, they can't clean up Sir Quest, who's able to escape alive to Gen. They decide to go for bomb plant, which is very risky in that situation. And as soon as you go for a bomb plant and make a couple of shots, it makes Trident's retake much easier because you know exactly what angles to post up on. There's no more utility to play with. You're not too scared if you're the Orpra at this point in time. And That's Illegal are starting to go down the slope of force buying themselves to death. They're starting to feel a bit desperate. SMGs towards A.
Yeah, it certainly seems to have headed in that direction, hasn't it? It's a little bit more desperation here from the team side. Money's getting low. They're like, oh, well, we're playing on high ping. We may as well give it a crack, but like Trident will be good enough to deal with it. Already a nice start. Quincy grabs one, so Quest another. They might even manage a couple of kills if he is able to set himself up in a nice position, because the rest of That's Illegal still headed in the direction of 8.
Wex just pushing at the moment. That's full confidence coming out from some of these members from Trident at this stage. And Forvent, he's not even thinking about going in. Because That's Illegal have shown the ability to kind of transition out Sir Quest. Maybe going a bit greedy. Tries to go towards sandbags and gets punished for that by Jelly Phoenix, which is always good to see. However, AK not retrievable just yet.
Well, ISO's going to look to clear the bottom of ramp. No one there, of course, as we can see. Jelly Phoenix, on the other hand, just chilling and waiting. But Trident, not too concerned. They have the numbers advantage. They've got a lot of map control, as Forvent's even in T-spawn now.
Yeah, perfect way to play this. So Trident don't want to unnecessarily push. Just isolate the angles that are really smart, like Wex is. Eventually, you need to make a mid-round play 4v2. You know what? Might as well go for it. You can feel a bit confident. Don't allow That's Illegal to get settled. And look at that. We were talking about how it was very close. Now it's starting to blow away a little bit. Where money is there now for Trident for the rest of the half, I feel like.
Well, another one back 5-on-5, where That's Illegal will try to end their first round of this series. This time going through mid. A lot of util thrown on toward jump up, which is going to force Sir Quest back. Never mind, he decides he wants to fire a few shots at That's Illegal before he drops off, and he does some pretty damn good damage there as well. Chaos playing anti-flash in mid, chooses now to strike. It's a 1-for-1, never mind. Sir Quest also drops. So a 2-for-1. Numbers advantage for That's Illegal. This time nearly looking like they'll be able to convert.
need to convert this one. They've done well. They've punished the over-aggression from some of these members from Trident, but Quaity, nice little flick. Good trades, though. They've spotted the bomb on the side of Trident. Forvin still probing over here towards the B site, so I think eventually he's going to be spotted out. Wex probably makes a few shots as well. Oh, no, apparently they don't know he's here. Might have to go through Maze right now to the rotation to A. You can see Trident very aware of this danger. They're also rotating over.
Well, bomb plan is going to go down. Oh,
A bit trigger happy there, Wex, mate.
Luckily, it doesn't do too much damage to Forvin. It shouldn't make much of a difference.
I don't like how this is like a lot of one and done positions right now. So Skycap has to go huge. Never mind, I take my words back. That's all you need to do. Hit a double spray. And that's the first round on the board for That's Illegal.
Yeah, good win for them. Does come down to the 2-on-2 clutch though, so you can't really be relying on that every day of the week. But 11-1, certainly better than 12-0. Gives you something to build on. Hopefully they can get to 4, which would be enough to play with for the second half. If it's any less, I mean, I say it's enough. It's really kind of grasping at straws at that point, but it would be something at least.
Double orb actually for Trident, so the bank account is going to be depleted a lot faster than if they decided to go just for that single orb. But paying dividends so far, 5 and 4 for Trident once again. And That's Illegal lose a lot of utility considering that, well, I think ISO was holding quite a bit. Now Chaos actually making this early round aggression work out. That's Illegal being picked apart at the moment, not even being able to find a single target.
Yeah, it's a good response from Trident. Goosepan's just tucked away in a corner, trying to survive. And can't, which is not a huge surprise, with all of Trident trying to chase him down. So a brief moment of excitement for That's Illegal, but once again put back in their place by the CT side. It's been a well put together half by a Trident so far.
Yeah, and I was about to say, I really don't like this decision from That's Illegal. I do understand it's 12-1 at the moment. You've only got 2 rounds to play with, but this is just such a weird buy where I feel like they're doing the bulk of the work when they've got utility, they've got a couple of rifles to work with, they can trade in unison. Just a lack of utility means they have to go for something fast. They have to hope that Trident just burn through a lot of utility or something like that happens where Jelly Phoenix just comes out swinging.
Numbers advantage for the T side for, it feels like maybe the second or third time this half. Hopefully they can manage to turn it into something. My issue though, Kev, is that they really don't have a whole lot of utility. That shot's going to help though.
Might buy AKs when you have aim like Jelly Phoenix and just crack open a couple of noggins with that.
Chaos though is going to hear the footsteps and gets himself a freebie, but the main offensive is over towards A. That's where we need to look. So Quest drops a few bullets through the smoke. We'll allow the bomb plan to go down while the rest of the rotation comes through from the CT side. This is much better from That's Illegal from what we've been seeing so far. This molly though, does it go a little bit too deep to push Goosepants off?
No smoke as well. No. Ooh, I was about to say, almost looked like they didn't clear it, but Circus as well as Chaos. Giving it a good crack, but ISO. Ice cold. Skycap as well. He's not needed. Skycap. He was the hero of the previous round for ISO. He's the hero this time around. 2 rounds on the board. Well earned. Much better from some of these individuals now. Looking to fight back.
Final round of the half. Really like to see this one go over to the T side. P9's out for the boys though for Trident. So we'll see. This is going to be a faster round. Oh, nice peek from Quaity. That's Forvint up on the line as well with that MP9. So Quest starting to push in towards scaffolding. It looks like Trident want to be a little bit more aggressive this round than what we've been ordinarily seeing from them on CT side so far.
Oh, this aggression though from Chaos this time around. Not working out too well as Skycap is just tending. That's Illegal. Just waiting to see what opportunities they can find. Jelly Phoenix might check this once again. He's been pretty good at his protocol so far, but unfortunately, Forvint going to be on top of things. Literally. And Cirquest has taken a ramp control as well. This is not good for That's Illegal.
Shotgun AWP almost, basically, for Goose Pants. Very close range. So Quest can't get anything done. Now
Look at
Koiti,
this.
oh, could be in a spot as well. The Sky Cat just creeping around the corner. Can't quite land that final bullet, though.
Oh, no.
Mess on the bomb site. The MP9, the move speed. Nice shot, though, from Goose Pants. Brings it back to 2-on-2. Corbin should get a freebie here and will. And, well, Defuse is surely on now because they know where that remaining T is. There's nothing he can do about it, especially not now that he's dead.
Pretty unfortunate there. Bomb carrier should have been covered off, but they're dropping utility, not expecting just a wide swinging MP9 to be coming out. I don't know, 13-2 scoreline. Definitely still, I would favour Trident. Obviously, it's a stronger team, but it's not as if That's Illegal shouldn't have only gotten 2 rounds. I felt like they probably should have gotten 4 or 5 at the very least. That's just my personal feeling, though.
What, that they should have got it to 5?
Yeah, I feel like they did good enough work in terms of, like, you look at their fundamentals, sure, there's, like, a couple of things missing here and there, but I felt like across the board, majority of the rounds that was, like, they got into the side or whatnot, it's like a 3-on-3 or whatnot, I was like, okay, this is where you're actually in a really strong position That's illegal, but they lose a couple of aim deals there. They don't really watch, like, a particular section carefully enough, or they don't trade out effectively, and that's it. We'll try to... Well, Forvent in this case going to start things off quite nicely. This might draw a lot of attention over here to B site, but reality, it's A.
It certainly is. It has drawn the rotation across. At the moment, ISO's trying to get back over to A to try to close some semblance of a defense. He smoked off, but he gets the kill through the smoke. The bomb plant wasn't safe. So Chaos is going to have to pick that one up and put it back down on the floor. There's another push through. What is this round? ISO trying to get a bit aggressive. Leaves it over to Jelly Phoenix in the 1-on-3, and Trident are more than happy to take that challenge. Get themselves to 14. Very, very strange pistol round, but hey, it works out in the favor of Trident.
Yeah, he'll take those, alright, at the end of the day, so... I mean, that was like a really good crack back end for ISO. He denies the bomb carrier, then that's the situation. It's like, alright, now Trident are actually forced to fight as the smokes are fading. This is favorable for the CTs if they're able to isolate and lock down a few of these sight lines and land a few shots, but unfortunately not to be. Pace straight into the B site as well. They haven't checked close. Now they have.
Well, it's fine. They get the 1-for-1 on the way in. Quest has no problems dealing with Goose Pants either. Bomb site secured, more or less. ISO coming around behind. Does have a MAC-10 in hand, but won't be able to put it to good use. He traded out the MP9 for a MAC-10 anyway. It doesn't really matter too much.
Either or, both CTs. Pretty hard retake to make, no kit, so at least they're grouped up together. Just have to try to make the trades work out. But this flashbang might be the undoing of everything, as that allows Cirquest to peek behind it. And he is very happy fighting 2 separated targets. That's map point right now for Trident. Lots of map points to work with. Economy control as well.
(15-2). So 1 round away, one would think, for Trident. Koiti's just going to do some interior decorating, or redecorating, I suppose.
Wex has brought out the Bison, which makes me both simultaneously feel good about this and also not at the same time. Nice aggression though. Jelly Phoenix really seems to be able to find some of these opening picks quite well, but it's just instantly traded back. Trident lose a bit of control, but it's just not enough, unfortunately, for That's Illegal. They need to kind of build on it and capitalize.
For V3, but Jelly Phoenix is starting to work his way into T-spawn. Gets a nice little flanking angle. ISO also managing to win his duel over at Scaffolding does mean that That's Illegal have a chance in this round. Trident doing their due diligence though with the util getting into the A bomb site, not really being contested too hard, and bomb plant goes down quickly. So rotation, fairly important to come across here from That's Illegal, and the timing was almost right for Jelly Phoenix, but not quite.
You see Trident instantly aware of the flank. Chaos just goes down there to guard it. They have to try to make a desperate play work out, but just because of that kill, it does open up a lot more ability for Trident just to play a much more successful post plant. You can see they're a bit further back. They can play this contact play as well. And I mean, no kit as well, no HP. Cirquest decides to clean things up. Very, very solid 16-2 in the favor of Trident. But as I say, for That's Illegal, I feel like it's a bit harsh. Definitely did enough to maybe justify 4 to 5 rounds, maybe 6 if they had a bit more time to play with. But nevertheless, that's on Trident, the individual stepping up, and you have to just praise them for that.
Yeah, good win for Trident, looking pretty clean and comfortable there on Vertigo, especially considering that was their opponent's map choice. But we'll see how things do end up panning out. We do have obviously a best of 3 here. It's not the end of the world for That's Illegal, but I mean, I think you look at that and you probably say, it seems that Trident is on another level than what That's Illegal is.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's take a quick look at who was doing the most work for Trident. Forvent, which is not a surprise. I felt like Circos definitely chipped in with a couple of good rounds. Chaos as well, even Wex and Koiti, solid. But I think Forvent, actually fantastic all around, locking down the B site most of the time, understanding when he needs to push in, and converting these multi-kills as well.
Yeah, definitely doing a good job. Again, it's one of those situations I feel like where you can look at almost anyone on the Trident roster and say they probably did deserve to have a little shout there for the MVP. I thought Cirquest was another one that had a pretty good game. There was definitely moments from Koiti with the AWP. Wex and Chaos as well sort of had a few multi-frag rounds. So I think you can kind of put your hand in the cookie jar there and pull out any name really, and wouldn't have necessarily been a bad shout for the MVP that game.
Yeah, and I think moving on to Nuke now, this is where the going gets a little bit tougher for That's Illegal. Obviously, Vertigo was their map pick. Like I said, I really enjoyed their Seaside approach. I think it was very solid and showing it's like they understand the fundamentals, they understand what they need to do, but the problem is just a conversion at the end of the day. Trident, very good at running disruption. Now it's their turn to show us what they got in Nuke. Obviously, we're pretty hypercritical of these teams, but I think I also enjoy watching these teams learn. I don't think they play the perfect Counter-Strike. No one ever does, but no, that's what makes it even more enjoyable, because you kind of see these teams, you go, there's something there for them. There's some talent over there. Hopefully this can go further, because this might be the next team that grows beyond this, and we might be talking about one of these guys in the future as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why they do like to... It's like, wow, I like to watch these kinds of tournaments and these kinds of teams every now and then. Like, it's obviously not the kind of game that I cast on the regular, but it's good to kind of keep up with what's happening in, like, the Tier 2 and maybe even the Tier 3 scene every now and then, just to see what names are kind of cropping up more often than not. And so, yeah, I mean, you're right. Maybe next season of ANZ Champs or sometime next year, we'll start to see some of these Trident players or some of these That's Illegal players or whatever starting to sort of climb through the ranks. And so it'll be good to have that little bit of insight maybe under our belt. As far as the next map is concerned, though, I'd obviously be leaning towards Trident here. I think this is, they've done enough there on that first map to make me think that it should be relatively comfortable for them coming into the second map.
Yeah, 100%. I would agree as well. I'm much more convinced of Trident's performance, just because it's like, even at the end of the day, where, to be fair, they didn't have that many rounds on the T side to kind of show me what kind of approach they had. Their CT side Vertigo approach was a bit unusual to what I'm used to. Normally, we see a lot more CT teams actually play retake A. So they hold onto utility, deny the bomb plant, they play retake with a couple of smokes. I think what they need to kind of do to kind of take it to the next level against some better teams is understand when they need to use utility and when they don't need to use utility. Because there are a lot of times where I'm going, if you're getting baited out by an open team who admittingly had a really good understanding of how to take map control, and you drop all your utility by it's about 50 seconds, you have nothing to retake with or nothing to contain map control with, you're in big trouble. It's like, I would just say to them, why are they using this smoke? Why are they using this flashbang? Are they retaking map control? Are they about to lose this map control? And kind of build further from there. Because it's like one of the rare times I see that CT team and I'm like, oh, there's not much util left across the board.
All right, careful. It's time for us to jump back onto the game. We've got Nuke 4 map number 2. I'll obviously have a look at the knife round before anything really too major kicks off. I feel like the knife round, it doesn't hugely matter anymore on Nuke. Like it used to be, you win the knife round, you almost can say, oh, well, I might as well win the map now. But these days, I mean, I think there's even something to be said for starting on T-side, to be honest.
Yeah, especially considering the teams have gotten a lot better in cutting off the rotations on the CT side, abusing that rotation as well. Look, don't get me wrong, CT side's still favored quite a bit, so you're definitely going to pick that still if you win the knife round. Which in this case, Trident take pretty convincingly. But I'm confident to say that I am expecting to see a couple of good things coming out from that's illegal on this T side. I'm hoping to see some utility plays. I'm hoping to see some of that fundamental and kind of understanding why they're throwing these smokes, why they're trying to take this map control, what they're trying to sell, and kind of build it forward from there. So,
Well, let's see what we're going to get here. We do have a smoke out for Sir Quest, a HE and a 5-7 for Koiti. So a little bit of a different investment to what we are used to seeing on the CT side. Already a good start for Trident here with Chaos hitting some decent sharp shots, and Koiti also chimes in. There we go, putting the 5-7 to good use. Like to see that one. Goosepan will try his best to trade back, and eventually does as Chaos pops his head back up. Oh, this could actually fall by the wayside. Should surely see a trade here from Sir Quest, which we do. And it's into the one-on-one. Goosepants quite low, or rather, Sir Quest quite low on HP, and Goosepants fairly healthy, so have to give the benefit of the doubt to the T side here.
all it takes though, one good shot from Sir Quest, and that's it. So he's approaching from the right angle, but Goosepants faster on the reaction. 3 kills. That was looking fantastic for Trident, but that's illegal. Just allowing things to slow down a little bit, able to isolate some of these targets, maybe Trident getting a little bit too enthusiastic than some of the members who take a few more aim deals, and there you have it. It's a pistol round, finally, going in the favor of that's illegal. And I want to see them building on it. Trident have force bought into this. I do not want to see 5 rounds of back and forth force buy madness. I mean, I'm hoping I don't see it. It's entertaining at one stage, but also it's not at the same time. I don't know if that makes any sense.
You do definitely get over it pretty quickly, don't you?
It's like, it's pretty cool when Deagles just win rounds and you're like, oh, those some fantastic shots. Oh, Tech 9, Rec 9. But when it happens for like 4 or 5 rounds in a row where teams just can't string rounds together, even though it's superior weaponry, you're like, yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah, this isn't how it's supposed to be going. Please just get me back to what I know and what I understand. That said, I mean, I do know and understand Trident getting a lot of round wins. I wouldn't be surprised to be seeing them pick one up here, especially with that start for Evan. Nice couple of double taps with the Deagle.
So the Deagle's so deadly on Nuke. You have so many close range angles, and at that stage, you don't need to even bother going for headshots, right? You can just try to spray for the body. Bit of over-aggression, bit of cheekiness from Chaos, maybe trying to catch one of the T's off guard. In reality, though, it's just left a huge, massive gaping hole in the defense now.
Yeah, it has indeed. B-Bomb Site is going to be the name of the game for the T side, but in response, Trident takes some control in lobby. Jelly Phoenix will wait patiently for the player to run around the corner, doing a good job of locking down a ramp at the moment. Koiti drops as well. And Sir Quest, the last one alive. Might try to get a bit of damage done here, but really doesn't achieve a whole lot. And so that's a good second round from That's Illegal.
Yep. All it just comes down to, once again, just on force buys, you have to figure out exactly where you calculate your risk. So in that, I think Biden did really well. They stack the A site, they get rewarded, they get a kill, they drop a bit of utility, they force counter rotations out. What I didn't like from that point is that they're not rotating in unison. On these, how do you increase your success in these force buys is either you go together, and we've seen that happen so many times, right? As soon as a CT side with a force buy has a numbers advantage, as soon as they group up with 3 people, it's like an AK gets 1 kill, but the Deagles just kill him immediately, and the trades just keep rolling in the favor of the CTs. I mean, this surely should be another quick round. Nice little mop-up coming out from Goosepants and Jelly Phoenix. Goose Jelly.
Goose
Jelly.
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 Not sure I like the sound
Phoenix
of that.
pants? Do Phoenixes wear pants?
Oh, it could be just pants that have phoenixes on them.
Oh, true. Well, into the first gun round. So, good start
jelly
from
pants?
That's Illegal. Jelly pants, all true. Goose Phoenix. That's too many animals, I reckon.
too much, yeah. That's too much.
Yeah. God, imagine a Goose Phoenix, but one that's really annoying, but just never dies, so just annoys the village for the rest of its entire career.
Maybe the name of the Goose Phoenix is Forevent.
Yeah.
Or Forvent. I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, I think it's Forvent. That's pretty bold, just challenging outright to a rifler, and they win it. Warper is in pressure now. Koiti doesn't have body armor, so he's tanking a lot of damage right now from Skycap.
How's he gotten out of there?
I mean, who we talking about? How's he gotten out of there? I felt like Skycap very lucky to get out alive, and that's illegal. They're picking up the pace right now. Oh! That's a fantastic shot coming out from Koiti. Brings it down to this 3-on-2. But ISO and Goose Pants, they're not over and done just yet. They might head back up through Event, back to the A site.
I feel like there's a bit more life in That's Illegal here on Nuke than what we saw on Vertigo. Winning some aim duels, getting a few decent shots through. Goose Pants to work his way up the ladder. There is actually no defender on the A site right now. It seems that rotation has been pulled down to B. And Trident is working their way out of ramp.
All comes down to this fight over here at lobby, doesn't it? Both T's going to be re-aggressing into lobby. Or maybe a missed opportunity right now. And Goose Pants, fantastic stuff coming out from him once again. This has to be a safe from Koiti. You can't really get your way back into it.
Yeah, a little cheeky angle. Definitely don't expect a T to be hanging out there. That's Illegal must have had the read that there was going to be a radio push.
Yeah. You'd suspect that. As soon as you do manage to settle that, it's very rare that you see CTs start trying to make their rotation up through vent, especially on a 2-on-2. On a 3-on-2, you have to be watching that. But on a 2-on-2, you can kind of assume there's not enough utility. It's too risky to kind of come either through ramps or through heaven and whatnot. And you can play the post plant accordingly. As long as you group up, that's what I like seeing on the post plants. And this is really solid right now from That's Illegal. We're talking about on Vertigo. Definitely deserving a few of these rounds. Just couldn't close it out due to maybe conversion of kills. Now we're starting to see conversion of kills. Entries working in their favor and Trident not stepping up. It's not the first time Trident's been on a 5-4 and failed to capitalize. They need to start digging a bit deeper if they are to earn this victory against That's Illegal.
To get control of that CT economy first. Another spot here where he should be able to chime in with one, and with Eagle gets put to good use.
Skycap. Finally some punishment. That's what I mean. You get the pick, get the AK, get out of there, son. You've done enough, but oh my goodness, Mr. Narvorski. That's absolutely nasty. Wex though, Wex almost makes the 7. In the mag, good. All down to Chaos now. He tries to sneak out of the smoke, manages to make it work, but Goose Pants, of course it's Goose Pants. 9 kills, 0 deaths, 0 assists. He doesn't need to assist his teammates. He just frags.
Yeah, a little bit too close for comfort though for That's Illegal, considering it was just the Eagles for Trident and the saved AWP. Now it's going to be proper rifles. Fair bit of utility coming through. Double AWP as well for Trident.
Not a bad idea. I mean, this is starting to get to a bit of a precarious situation. That's Illegal have done enough to build themselves not only a decent economy lead on some of these members, but also good enough to when they go into the CT side, they're not going to be shut out of the game like we saw in Vertigo. Just like that. Fantastic.
Wasn't this
Trident's map pick? Yeah, Australian curse. Keep forgetting about that sometimes. You win your opponent's map pick. But
well, Wex has hit a nice shot there with the AWP to bring it back to the 4-on-4. Still sort of stretches the defense pretty thin. But That's Illegal are not probing too hard at the moment. They're just sitting around in lobby, hanging out. No pressure in ramp, no pressure in outer. No pressure really anywhere from That's Illegal just yet.
They're waiting for a bit of over-aggression, and as soon as they go, all right, nothing's really coming out at this stage, we're just going to throw a bit of utility. It does look like it's angled to the A site, and all I want to see is good trades coming out. I don't want to see individual players like this. ISO, shoulder spotted, Forvent punishes, and this is a problem now, right? 3-on-4. chances of winning have gone down unless someone steps up big. Goosepant's still alive, though. You can never count him out. Mr. Narvorski as well. Definitely hit a fantastic entry in the previous one. There you are, Goosepants. Equalizes.
Oh, Mr. Navorsky can't quite take the head off of Wex, which will let him out in safety. Only a couple of flashes here for the retake for Trident, so it's not really going to be the ideal
Double orb as well.
That's true.
Koiti is going to be the lad that switches over. Flashbang as well. So Label exits out, but Mr. Navorsky, he's starting to come into the game at the moment. He's completely shut them out. Goosepants dies because his teammate has to kill him, not because Trident can kill him. 6-0 Elfish Guy. I feel a bit more justified saying that that's illegal. Definitely, how do I say it? Could have done a lot better if they converted some of these individual frags, and now we're starting to see it. They're starting to pop off.
Yeah, I think maybe they sort of saved all of those Vertigo rounds in the bank and just decided to pull them out here on Nuke. Now doing a pretty damn good job. Trident definitely struggling, which is something I expected to see at all. Mr. Navorsky grabs himself another one. 5-7. I mean, Koiti's trying to put some real work through, but again, just what is going on? I mean, how have That's Illegal gone from not really being able to find a single round, it felt like, on Vertigo, to now not looking like they're going to lose a single round on Nuke?
Started believing themselves a little bit. That's literally it. Some of the individuals go, we can play better than that. They should look back at that and go, yeah, they realistically actually did really well to take a lot of these rounds. So, Goosepants, does he realize there's going to be another one over here? Absolutely. Of course he does. I don't know, Goose Phoenix. Goose Phoenix? I reckon that should be a new alias for someone out there.
Goose Phoenix.
Goose Phoenix.
You're really not letting up on this one, are you?
No, absolutely not. If the man's going 12-1 at this stage, he really has come back from the ashes and kind of made impact, honestly, on this T side of Nuke. 7-0. Trident needs to surely break it soon. Double Orc comes out once again. How is that legal? How are they going to approach this one? The Orp as well and ISO.
Again, it's just another opening frag for That's Illegal.
He's going to come
ISO's
out.
coming to his own, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going to swing Heaven. He's going to kill the guy in Heaven. Look at this. They're even mollying a credit card. Just swiping their way to success, yeah. Smoke into Annex. Flashbangs. Yeeting through, but Cirquest. Besides, that's not allowed over here.
Some signs of life now from Trident as Cirquest manages to get himself the double. Probably shouldn't get away with that, but does eventually get traded down. Trident, they're continuing to put in some hard yards. Starting to reward them, but I'm not sure what that was from Forvin.
Yeah, he was trying to exit, but...
Yeah, but That's Illegal now brings it back to 2-on-2. They might have made the incorrect call by going towards the A site, but as I say that, Trident have just sort of worked their way into ramp away from A. Wasn't a silent drop from Goosepants, by the way, so they made a bit of noise.
Don't know if Wex was actually spotted out there, but they surely should know there's a rifle in Hunt at the moment. You can see Chaos is going to fire a couple of shots just to distract the fact that Wex is actually there. That's a nice little retake from Trident. Much better constructed that time around. Patience. Not trying to go for heroic plays. They're going to finally put one on the board, but 2 alive. And none of the Orbs retrievable. Not ideal for the CT side, but for That's Illegal. Lots of money to work with. They're not going to be too worried either.
I feel like it was the rifles that got a lot of the work done in the last round there for Trident anyways, so hopefully they'll be able to replicate that here. Definitely don't want to see this half just balloon out and, you know, we see like another really one-sided map. Would like to see something a bit more contested.
Might be heading to Inferno. Who knows at this stage? Jordan? Oh, Chaos. He should not be fighting that after he's been tagged. That said, though, ISO has been very, very good. He's been very, very good at making sure he's punishing any of these errors that are coming out from Trident. You drop your incendiary grenade short, get punished for it. You're holding an angle longer than you should, you've been punished for it. Look at this, even dropping Molotovs towards Squeaky just to make sure no one can exit out and just resetting the situation. Because you know you've got elbow control, you pick up a ground player, they're going to be desperately rotating around.
Yeah, Wex has no idea what's going on.
Look at that! Like, that's... I always talk about, like, high percentile plays. And we see that coming out from, like, teams like your Direwolves and whatnot, where they completely shut down your rotation. And you just saw that. There's a player coming out from Addicts, there's 3 going in through Heaven, clearing it. There's 1 person coming out through Squeaky. What are you meant to do? As that Trident player that's over at Squeaky, you can't watch 5 things at the same time.
Definitely quite crazy how this game has just absolutely swung on a dime. And we've gone to the complete opposite team dominating on map 2. I suppose that is what it is. I mean, it still feels like Trident have a bit left in the tank. It's just they can't get the CT side rolling at all.
No, it's... Look, it's down to like when you play those one-sided games like Vertigo and you feel like you have a really good read of what your opposition does, you can get a little bit like shell-shocked when they come out like this and you go, hang on a second, the previous game, like these guys are playing completely differently. Not in terms of the structure and strategy, I feel like it's very similar, but more of the case of they're actually hitting shots. Like they go from someone you thought was going to be easy steamroll into guys hitting shots. You try to, in the next couple of rounds, you go, all right, we need to go over-aggressive to try to fix the situation. Individuals try to step up. They get punished because, as before, sort of 1 round fluke from That's Illegal. They're here to say now. Now, Trident need to dig a bit deeper. We need to start seeing a bit more sensible play. We didn't really see that sometimes in Vertigo, where they did squander some of these advantages. We saw that earlier on Nuke as well. We need to start seeing this in these rounds. And a 4 spy, I don't know what that makes me feel. Not in this round.
I suppose we're getting towards a sense of desperation that this T side is starting to run amok.
It is, and that's the problem, right? When I'm seeing a team where I go, all right, you saved over, I think, a single gun, which was an AUG in the previous one. You have the ability to get a couple of M4s or whatnot, but some of you have to go down to MP9s. You can't be hoping it's like, all right, wait for That's Illegal to make a mistake and maybe commit into one of our MP9s. I hope we can win some of these aim duels.
Sir Quest, interesting spray, nearly gets something done, but Wex tries to get a bit aggressive, and maybe that's been one of the things that's been hurting Trident, is a lot of these pushes.
And that's what I mean, because they're buying up at the moment, they feel like they have to make the play. And you can see that in their gameplay. It's a 5-5. Normally, if you have guns, you have utility, you can fall back. But because it's dwindling down 2 and 5, they're all taking individual deals. They all need to take a bit of a step back, a bit of a tactical pause to get all back onto the same page. They can't be trying to be the heroes at the moment. That's how That's Illegal winning these rounds. You can see they're coming in 3 at a time, 2 at a time, ready to trade out. Yep,
I tend to agree with you. Koiti's going to try and save that AUG. Looks like he would be able to get away with it, having gotten all the way into T-spawn.
Got a Ruffleco fan over there in chat. I know he's not playing in this, but are you a fan of Ruffleco?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
You guess?
I haven't seen actually a whole lot of Ruffleco play, to be honest. We did get to see him a little bit at the end of 2020, some of those top 4 tournaments that Vertex qualified for, and I thought that we would, obviously, in this season of ANZ Champs, but the extenuating circumstances have been such that that hasn't necessarily been the case thus far.
I can tell you he's going to be back soon.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Be interesting how that all pans out.
Well, back onto the task at hand. I mean, is Trident seriously going to force my to death? Not impressed. I'll be honest, I'm not impressed by this. This is how That's Illegal then go on to take a 14-1 T-half, let's be real. Because it's still the same desperation. Everyone's trying to make these individual plays. Yeah, there's utility on some of these members, of course, because it's a 5-round loss bonus. There's some cash to work with. But the catch here is always going to be, it's still not the same as having a lot of M4s, all the players having lots of util, so you can stall and delay, and you can play to the late game very comfortably, and you have utility to play retake with. Are you Dandro or you Exelian over there, Oldfish?
Am I what?
You Dandro or you Exelian?
I'm a Dandro for sure.
You're Dandro? Alright, I'll be Exelian.
I'm Dandro as, man.
Alright, here comes the entries. Once again, Tech9 leading the charge. And how many times have we just seen Mr. Navorsky just get this kill onto Heaven? Just every single time, out squeaky. It's not the first time he's done it, not the last time he's done it. Also sprays down and does a lot of damage over to Koiti and cleans it up. They know exactly where the last one is, and Mr. Navorsky. Call him Sir Navorsky after that round. Needs to be knighted for his services in deleting Trident.
1 in 10. How is this happening? We've got to pause now. Don't know if this is a tack pause. I think it's just a... It's more of a tech pause, really. This is from Trident. I feel like it's maybe a little bit too late. You know, it could have come 3-4 rounds ago where there was still at least a chance of winning the half or bringing it back to something a bit more salvageable. But even 5-10 wouldn't be too exciting, I'd say, going into that second half for Trident.
Look, if they're doing this VOD review afterwards and they go, all right, are we going to listen to these casters or not? There's one thing I have to say. You need to recognize, and this is where it comes down to experience. And it's hard because not even the best teams realize when they actually need to take a pause. The time for slowing down everything, actually have a think about how to actually take these rounds, how you should be approaching your CT side nuke, should have come about 3-4 rounds ago. Shouldn't have been those 2 rounds. Those 2 previous rounds were completely squandered because you can see when you're force buying like that in a situation where you go full loss bonus, all you need to do is go armor and deagles, get some utility, stack a site, see what damage you can do, maybe steal away some AKs and kind of reinforce around that. Instead, everyone's force buying to try to see if they can force a hero play. These are not the rounds where you try to go as a hero player's tried it. This is where you get tested as a team. You win nuke as a team, you'll lose nuke together as a team. So I'm still relatively confident that Trident can find the ability to come back into this. Just comes down to making some solid decisions. Once you get a kill, don't make the low percentage play to continue pushing or double pushing. Fall back. Play the sites. Utilize crossfire angles. Try to bait the T's into these positions.
5 Deagles, man. 5 Deagles. And a dream for Trident. A dream of at least 5 rounds on the CT side. I'm not sure it's going to come. That's illegal. Have just looked a little bit too good so far in this first half. Already starting to get some good map control. ISO's got himself into secret. Starting to have a look down there. Goosepants already down inside vent. Looks like the rest of that's illegal are going to be joining them. Chaos should go down pretty quickly here. Seems like Trident just weren't too aware of the location of a lot of those T players. Again, you see someone getting caught off from the side or from behind. It's illegal. Are running rings around Trident here on Nuke.
Yeah, like I said, I've been very impressed by how they approach it. Oof. Nice little shot throw from Wex, which is... Look, I don't think it's going to be that hugely influential when it comes to all things, but might be an AWP retrieval. There it is. He's going to try to pinch that away. He's going to be chased down. Oh, very unlucky to only get the leg there. Mr. Navorsky will make sure that he can't really steal that AWP away. But 3 rounds left and a half. Try to have to think about, okay, what do we need to do to kind of capitalize right now to make sure we can shut this out? Where are we going to put these double AWPs? What territory are we going to hold? How are we going to make sure that they don't get into secret? Do we put an AWP maybe over at Heaven? Do we actually put him at Warehouse? Other AWP needs to be tasked with just watching ramps, locking down ramps, and your riflers need to make sure they can hold onto the A site. Rotate that utility wisely, and you go from here.
How it pans out. Oh, finally!
Beautiful.
A bit
There
of
we are.
success. Koiti gets a double kill. So many times we've seen that challenge from the CTs just to get absolutely blasted by an AK.
Yep.
But now for Trident, it's worked out. You have to convert this round.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you don't convert this round at the moment, this is going to be a huge letdown if you can't convert this. 3 on 5. There obviously is still a couple of dangerous players in life. Goosepants, obviously, has been doing pretty solid as he just slides onto the angle. Shot missed. Wow. I know they're playing on 100 ping, but just to do that is just still disgusting any day of the week. Molly close. You can see it's like protocols there. Smoke into Annex, Molly close. Goosepants now going to be leading the charge. Where's the flashbang? No flashbang means that's a good trade from Koiti. Still player close over here at ramps as well, so this should be trying to
Sky
Surely.
Cap's gonna go through it and absolutely decks Chaos. No, that's not allowed. That
Flank
is
coming
not
through.
allowed. That's
Flank coming
maybe
through.
illegal, Kev. For lack of a better word, Quest does get an important frag and manages to survive through the molly. Okay, Trident avoid disaster, but a much more costly round than what it should have been.
Yeah, 3 and 5 where you could have given it a huge champ, but Skycat reading the play so good at the moment.
Trident are rich enough at least to afford a pretty respectable buy.
Just the problem though is like they found that opening success on the back of an AWP getting a double kill. Now that's illegal going for 5 rifles means they want to amp up the pace over here. ISO just jumping back on the rifle means, alright, let's accelerate. They're going straight towards outers. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a barrel straight into secret as well with a deep wall of smoke. So you can see even just making sure they're covering off, utilizing some extra smokes, and just trading effectively from here. Can Trident get down in time? That's the question. I'm not seeing the rotations though.
Oh, well, I saw one.
Oh my god.
Corvin instantly gets his head chopped off. Now Chaos is there looking to defend. Needs a double here probably and might just get it. Good spray. Can't hold on for the third. That's a bit ambitious. But overall does enough to at least bring it back to an even number situation for Trident to try and defend.
Yeah, playing for Decon back aside over here because they still have Decon control. They got control room side. Trident. All it's going to be down to Cirquest, I feel like, how he makes this play over at Vents. Finds the right timing. An absolutely huge Oity just jumping straight in, or it's actually Weps jumping straight in. How have they managed to turn this around? 1 and 2, going to be sticking that plant now. And it's not for Skycap. He has to just fight this completely. He's not going to be able to fight it. Surely not. There's a kid ready for the play.
Quest is trying his best to survive, and he does just manage to sneak through the round, which is actually a pretty big deal in the grand scheme of things, being able to keep that gun alive. Really, really helps out the buy in this final round for Trident. And it seems they might have finally started to get some of their mojo happening here. It's not been clean, it's not been pretty, these rounds haven't been good, but at least they're getting some rounds. I wonder if they can make it to 4, is that enough to at least give you some hope for the second half?
It's a stabilizing factor. You go into your T side where you can start dictating some of the plays. We saw that Trident were pretty solid, honestly, on that T side. We know they can hit shots. It just gets to the stage that they needed to get this to give themselves a bit of a chance, because you have to concede that That's a League can take the pistol. They're going to go onto the CT side. All they really need is a couple of lucky plays. You're justified that, and you pretty much win from there. So
well, that's a pretty good start. So question for this timing of 1 apiece, although the trade comes back through from ISO, it's really not going to be enough to start to ramp things up for That's Illegal. In fact, things have kind of slowed down a little bit for them, which is concerning, given how Trident really dominated in that first map when they started to get rolling.
I'm just glad.
Done and dusted pretty easily, and is.
I'm just glad, because it means that Trident is stepping up a little bit, right? Like, that's the whole thing. It's that tactical pause helped a lot because it reframed what they needed to do going forward. It wasn't a case of you needed the individuals to kind of start making plays. You need to go, all right, instead of us sending it one at a time, like that retake was a perfect situation. To run disruption, it wasn't a case of, okay, I think it was Cirquest that was coming in through Vent. It wasn't him just trying to make a play, but then 2 players then exiting out of Megaton. They were pushing at the same time to make sure they were sowing chaos. It wasn't allowing That's Illegal one-on-one aim deals. They had to worry about multiple different angles at the same time. Obviously, still a huge comeback for for Trident to make That's Illegal still in the prime position, especially the tech pistol. Here we go, A side.
Good start already from Trident. Wex and Chaos wander into the A-bomb site and get themselves a frag apiece, and Quiti spamming through the smoke gets another. Exactly the kind of start that they need, and the continuation of the momentum that we saw at the end of that first half. That, look, it's still early days, really. It's a massive, massive comeback to make, but I'm kind of getting a feeling that Trident is getting a feeling, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They're starting to kind of believe a little bit more. They are telling themselves they're not out of it just yet. Players are starting to... We always talk about form and players, right? It's such an interesting thing, because as a player, your form can kind of be transient across even a game. You can have a huge start, then kind of go into a mediocre middle and ending. You can be really quiet and then step up and just pop off, have a couple of huge rounds. Always talk about Loot from Paradox being one of those players. If he has 2 or 3 good rounds, that's it. He just completely takes over the game against some of these teams.
5 Mac 10s? No, 4 Mac 10s and an AK. It's a triple nade stack though for That's Illegal. I'll be interested to see where that ends up going.
I'll be outers here.
Could be. Doesn't matter. Koiti just runs into A. It's a bit of a stack on A from That's Illegal, but it doesn't work out too kindly for them.
So That's Illegal going to be tested now. Once you really can't group up, you have to play a bit more individually on that CT side. How well are you going to go on the multi-frags? How well the trade game is going to be when you position these crossfires? That's the question that Trident's going to be asking. You can see already ramping up the pace. No regard in terms of... That could have been very easily a pistol stack on the A site. Could have been very disastrous, but you can see Trident, they're grouping up. They're just trusting themselves to trade out in numbers. They're trying to make sure it's very simple in terms of the decisions they make. Third round buy actually coming out from That's Illegal. I don't like it, I'll be honest. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's a hefty investment of not a whole lot. Trident wasn't expecting it. They've gotten a bit aggressive into A. Trades need to come through here from the T side, and they do, but they're losing numbers across the board. Good frag, though, from Koiti, and this smoke is going to help a lot. Allows Chaos to retrieve the bomb safely. Do they know where Jelly Phoenix is? It seems like they do.
I mean, that's very greedy if you know that he's over there and you decide to go for an open plan. That was, yeah, I was going to say, the reason why I didn't expect this buy was because I saw a few HE grenades. I actually saw one person or 2 people upgrading to Deagles, and that's never ideal. When you're coming into these gun rounds, a Deagle literally actually means you have extra smoke, an extra flash, even an HE as well, so yeah.
All of a sudden, this scoreline doesn't look too bad anymore. No.
Trident have not only given themselves a chance, but I would say they're actually back in the driver's seat for now.
Especially given the fact that That's Illegal did buy last round, and so they can't this round. That's kind of what you were getting at with the questioning of the early investment.
It was like more because it's like you get an HE, and I can see... I don't mind if you go for like Deagles and no body armor for 2 rounds in a row, for example, because when you actually get to that, get to the 4th round buy, it's insane because you actually have everything you need. There's no excuses to actually... I mean, this is an anti-eco. You want to hype it up.
Oh, not really. To be honest. I keep my voice nice and safe and healthy for as long as possible. Clean one though from Trident.
Yeah, can't complain about that because for Trident, the money's built up now for a lot of their members. For That's Illegal, this is finally a gun round, right? I mean, I say a gun round, there's an XM in play, which if you're on the A site is not the end of the world. We've seen Magisk on top of Hut do some magic with it. They've got an AWP. They've got plenty of utility to work with in some of these members. Skycap, you could have bought an extra flashbang, mate. It's 250 there in the bank.
Off go the smokes for Trident toward outer, but there's actually no commitment to it. It's more of a fake than anything else. I'm not sure that it's really fooling anyone.
I think it's a deep wall, isn't it? So
yeah, it is.
But Molotovs as well. XM pushed off. Mr. Navorsky, though, definitely the wrong angle of things. And Sirquest, beautiful couple of entries onto that A site. Makes it look so seamless on the transition, and there you have it. It's cracked open.
The late flank through those smokes gets himself into Annex, and all of a sudden, That's Illegal. Lose 3 or 4 players in quick succession. ISO will hang on to the AWP as best he can. But it's a nice little tricky strategy. You know, I feel like it's one of those things that it's pretty hard to plan for, someone coming through those smokes. And it was pretty evident that That's Illegal didn't either have the information or weren't prepared for it at all.
I mean, it comes down to how often people throw those smokes and how well they execute, right? So Trident, that's definitely not the first time they've done it. I just don't know if That's Illegal adverse like a caliber opponent that actually throws that, understands exactly when they need to time their attack. You can see all the CTs are being disjointed. They're not in the correct location to actually offer up those crossfires. Mr. Novorski's out in the open. He's not behind Silo. I think Jelly Phoenix isolated in the smokes or whatnot. He then tries to come into the A site because he needs to fight. Obviously, he's going to get flanked through the smokes. All comes down to just practice and repetition. So Trident, they've given themselves a chance, and I mean, 7 rounds in a trot now, isn't it? 8? 7 or 8?
Let me have a look.
A lot.
8. It's 8.
Yeah, it was 11-1 at one stage, but slowly and steadily, you can see just the change in the play as well from Trident on that safety side when it got towards the end. They justified some of those. Now on that T side, they're slowing things down coming into this round. They know the AWP was saved over. They don't want to offer any luxuries as Circle is stuck through. But ISO, wow. What a read coming out from him.
Well, we did need to see a good start. That's illegal in a buy like this, and that's exactly what they get. But can they convert on it? Doesn't seem like it. Trident too clean on the entry. That is insane. 2v4. And I don't think that that's illegal. They're going to be getting out of this one alive. We've just got Goose Pants left.
He's going to give it a good crack, but unfortunately, he's out in the middle of rafters on an island by himself. Couple of flashbangs, that's all Trident need, and Forvent just completely mops up. Once again, I feel like that's just like the same kind of round that we saw from Cirquest when they were getting the entries. You kind of like see Forvent come out, he gets one on the rafters, then he transitions to over heaven. It's just such a smooth movement on how he gets all of these kills in quick succession. It's just absolutely fantastic to see. But the problem is right now, this is not what I want to see from That's Illegal. I don't want to see a force buy into this. When you go down to 400, I don't mind, once again, armor and deagles, but when you're lost bonus to that 5 rounds, this is not doing you any favors, right? Same criticism levied over at Trident earlier on. I'm leveling that same criticism now. That's illegal. You've got to be buying your best opportunity at winning. It's not going to be on these MP9 rounds. It's going to be on the rounds where you have the AWPs, full util, as well as rifles to work with, and AWPs.
To 11, so the scoreline is starting to creep ever closer. That's illegal. We'll be starting to feel a little bit concerned now. But they do open things up with a nice couple of kills, so maybe I speak too soon. Cirquest and Chaos dead. Def's not Wex. Able to trade back on down. Lobby control is there for the CTs. Koiti gonna try and get something a little bit cheeky done there, but to no real success. Obviously gets down, but doesn't see anyone.
And Goosepants has pushed up towards Trophy, so this just allows kind of like a lock-in from a lot of these members. I just don't like how they're very separated right now, because you can see there's one close right now at Hut. No trade potential. Right? All Trident need to do is steamroll ahead. They've cleared out A site, especially with positioning like this. Big advantage being squandered at the moment. Now last one coming forward, making a lot of noise. Goosepants not going to get away with any shenanigans this time. That was a huge chance for That's Illegal to kind of take that one. 5-on-3. All they needed to do was, or 4-on-3 after one was lost on the flank. All they needed to group up was just set up these crossfires. But the problem is, all in one and done positions, trying to play heroes. I just don't like it when individuals try to play heroes in a game that's about teamwork, Jordan.
Yeah, you see it all too often, don't you?
Unfortunately.
Equalized the scoreline, though, to Trident. And update on how many rounds in a row that is. It's 10 rounds in a row now. So that's not too shabby. Do have a timeout through from Trident. So interesting that it's a 2-minute timeout. But anyways, guess they just want to get themselves resettled here. They want to say, okay, well, we've equalized, but the job's not yet done. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, a bit of a long timeout. Just to wait to see what the response is. Maybe it's a bit of a tactical one where it's like, oh, need to go use the bathroom or something like that. So, which for 2 minutes actually is pretty solid. If you tried it, you want to just make sure that you close this out. 10 rounds in a trot, only 5 left. Don't want to allow That's Illegal to come back in. This is what I mean. Like that previous round where That's Illegal by MP9s, Jordan. It's like they buy MP9's utility. They had a good crack at it. Obviously had a chance to win it. Whatever, let bygones be bygones. But you come into this one. What utility is there to hold off against a push? A few smokes, flashbangs, and a incendiary grenade. Yeah. Good luck stopping an A push if Trident decide to go for it.
It's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see when this timeout does tick on down. Could be a bit of a mind game as well, you know. Trident just 10 in a row. They say, all right, let's call a attack pause here and make them stew, make them sit.
Can't believe the previous ROG Masters was 2017.
Yeah, it feels like not that long ago, but guess that it is what it is.
Yep. Gambit takes that victory after their major against Tai Lu. Wins $117,000.
It's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, teams are still playing for the chance to go compete in the APAC finals, which is still a pretty big deal for either of these teams. Much slower round coming out from Trident. Not blistering pace this time. Molotov does miss his mark at Annex. Flashbang to allow the secret pick. Like the small things at the stage. Goose Pants can't convert onto 4vent. Surely 4vent needs to go down, but he stays alive. ISO overstepping the mark. You don't need to go aggressive like this.
Yeah, that allows Wex to equalize things. 4vent. I don't think he's feeling too confident about peeking this corner on 2 HP, but he's going to have to make do with what he's got. There is one defender. It's Skycap. Flash goes through. Skycap doesn't quite manage to get the double. Wex goes very low on HP, but has managed to get down to B site first. The Molotov through. Decon is where the defense is coming from, but they haven't opened the door just yet, and Wex might get caught on the plant if he decides to. He decides better of it, puts the AWP to good use for Cineborski. Goes down, and Chaos, a very long spray, but he makes it work as Trident will win the round. A critical one to give them the lead. 12-11. Oh, that's illegal. Don't have a huge amount of cash, and it looks like they're going to force into this round, or at least half buy into the round.
Yeah, as long as you keep your money above like 1,500, you're pretty good, right? It means that you have a really solid buy coming forward into the next one. To be fair though, I'd like if it's higher around 2,000. The reason why, it just means that you have all the utility. You have a bit of spare cash in the pocket. You can kind of build up your chances of taking these. The problem with buying down at 450 for some of these members, it means that the money's never in line, and we're seeing the same problem, right? Like we saw earlier when Trident was force buying, they're trying to like win rounds by going aggressive by themselves. It just means you're giving more advantages for Trident at this point in time. You're gonna clear close is a real question or not. It does look like they are, but Jelly Phoenix, the Eagle Heroics, maybe once again. Maybe a little bit too late.
Yeah, just a little bit too little too late in the end. We needed someone to go superhuman mode, and there was the opportunity there, but now that it's 2-on-4, it seems like that has slipped away pretty substantially. Mr. Navorsky and Goose Pants, they may still be able to hold on to the A-bomb side, and that's a pretty damn good start, but now just down to Mr. Navorsky, and he was fully flashed, so Trident get themselves up to 13. Man, it's been a real grind to get to this point, but it kind of feels like they are now inches away from getting this one done and dusted.
For sure. And this is really good right now for Trident to... I think it's like, that was a question I was asking. Like, that's illegal. When they stepped up, I went, yep, that's pretty good, solid performance. But when they get tested by Trident, they realizes they need to step up. What then happens? Obviously, Trident had to recognize that before it got too late. And you look at it and you go, sure, they could have made the 14-1 comeback. Maybe. But those 4 rounds go a huge way, because that pressure just builds up when that's illegal to go. We need to convert around. We need to convert around. We just need one more kind of thing. They haven't gotten a single round of the CT side so far.
It's been a tough ask for them, hasn't it?
Yeah. Doesn't help.
They're not doing themselves too many favors with the buys.
Doesn't help when Circos manages to get into secret. I think he did manage to complete vent drop. He's just probing even further. Jeez. Just winning all these deals now. Complete flip around, complete change.
Indeed. Mr. Navorsky may be the bright spot in a very, very dark cloud at the moment for... That's illegal. But 2 on 4. One plan's about to go down on B. And trying to definitely doing their due diligence, clearing out all of the angles. So there's no chance that the bomb plant will be denied. And Koiti, I'm not sure how that shot's missed, but Corbin in such a good spot should get the kill onto Mr. Navorsky and does. So Skycap is left alone. Would have been better off saving those 2 guns, I'd say, but to go for the retake, and now they've only got 1 gun to save.
Yeah, Trident looking decently hard to hunt. Want to make sure they can take off everything. Obviously, Skycap's already the way back and spawn, so Forvent just make sure there's no way that he can swindle around. I don't think the rotation time would have ever worked out. Trident, I think, guessing incorrectly, going towards T-spawn. That's alright, though. More than happy to take the 14th, B3 up, and just allow a single M4 to go forward.
$14-11. How many rounds in a row now, Kev?
13. 13 rounds in a row and a trot right now for Trident.
Yep, you're right.
For once. Been wrong about a lot of things recently. So once again, it's just a forced bite of death. I mean, at this scenario, I understand why, but it doesn't mean it's the right thing to do, right?
So Quest opens the account quite nicely. And we got Jelly Phoenix trying to make something happen inside of that smoke, but well, a lot is happening actually. It's kind of surprising because the rest of Trident have gone down into the B bomb side, or at least toward the B bomb side. So I'm kind of surprised actually that Jelly Phoenix didn't manage to kill 1 or 2 or whatever's going on here. I'm really not sure. Goose Pants has gotten a couple. It's a messy, messy round. Jelly Phoenix is now working his way down secret.
Comes down to timing, doesn't it? But I think they enter vent just at the correct points. Jelly Phoenix might just be a step too slow, unfortunately. Doesn't spot the T's exiting silently up. Now he hears a Molotov. Should realize it is actually going to be an A site plant. He needs to make his way up through vent. Has a kit to work with, but no utility. Doesn't really want to make any noise, so he's going to shift to walk up the ladder. This is what I mean by grouping up. You can see both Trident members just staying together. High trade potential. Very low chance for Jelly Phoenix to convert a double kill.
Ooh. Now he's really not sure what to do, but time's starting to run out, so he's going to tap the bomb. There is 1 player spotted. The flash was a bit awkward. So Jelly Phoenix has a chance here. 7 HP, not much of one, but he's going to try and sit the defuse. Surely doesn't get it. So Quest on point, 15-11. And that is now series point for Trident secured.
Series point, qualification point as well. So pretty big stuff for Trident. And unfortunately for that's illegal. Money woes once again means that sure, you can get rifles, but you're going to be lacking this utility. I don't know at this stage though if utility is the solution, but it always helps when you can buy more time to actually get rotations. You see, when you don't have the utilities, you just get completely bullied out. It allows Trident to get a player down squeaky. It allows a lot of map control to go in the favor of Trident. You really can't contest it. Looks like they're going to try and end it fast here on the A site. Mr. Navorsky needs to hold on with the UMP.
Well, it's going to be a decent start for him, and the smoke's also keeping the rest of Trident at bay. Do they opt to go through it? Well, I'm not sure. Things are starting to fall apart pretty quickly on that T side, and they'll move their way back over towards ramp room, which has actually been left open by the CTs. Forcing the rotation down toward B, but Trident is there pretty damn quickly. That's illegal. Haven't rotated fast enough. Jelly Phoenix round the corner will lose his life as Forvint just waits patiently, and now it's on to Trident to hold off this 3-on-3 retake.
Pretty doable though, especially with the AWP with Koiti just posted up on Megaton or a Rifler. Just so hard to dislodge as well. Forvint has been absolutely phenomenal so far this series, and he's just going to be holding on to that control room side. That smoke's going to fade. He's going to take the duel. That wins at least a single one. Skycap not really following on. Chaos even chipping in with a bit more damage. As it looks like it is going to be Forvint that cleans things up for Trident. Congratulations to Trident for making their way through. 15 rounds in a row. Big comeback. And good stuff from him.
Yeah, certainly didn't feel like they were put under too much pressure in that second half. It was just all their way, but great stuff. A lot of mental fortitude, I think, to come back from a deficit like that. But you just got the sense that once those rounds started to slip in their direction in the first half and they got it to 4, it was enough to play with. And then you win the pistol. I mean, this is how it often goes, right? You win the pistol. You're starting to put one round together after another. All of a sudden, the scoreline doesn't look